All right, hi everyone. My name is Stephanie. I'm in our group project. I've just decided to make this video because I think it will be helpful in getting us all started since we're not able to meet at the same time. Sorry, I would have had my face in the corner like how the lecturers do, but I just felt like that was a bit cringe. Anyways, this is gonna be a short presentation. I have a lot to say, so it might be kind of long. Hopefully you will be able to stay for the whole thing. And I'm just gonna. This is just me organizing the project, so I'll just get started straight away. And the first thing I'm gonna do is just show you guys the brief. So this is the specific project brief for the topic of organizational culture. You guys may or may not have read this. It's in the uh, Moodle at the start. It's in the module handbook, and it's on page 20. It starts on page 20. And basically, I'm just gonna read this out in this video. It's only like a page long. So I think it's important. The rest of the stuff is more important, but I think it's important that anyone who hasn't read this just gets to listen to me read it out now. So if you haven't read it, so if you've already read it, or you feel like you don't have a lot of time to watch this video, or you just don't, or you're bored, you can just skip on, just skip to the next part, but I will just record this anyways. Um, so basically, Accenture is providing the following resources for this project: a video on life at Accenture. There's also information on the Accenture website about in their about section pertaining to work at Accenture. See also their website about the work environment in Accenture in here. Okay. And then we go on. It says, for the topic of organizational culture, the group project poster should address the questions: what kind of organizational culture Accenture has? What kind of functional and dysfunctional effects can organizational culture have on the organization and its employees? And is the culture attractive for you or potential applicants? You should consider the employees, current and potential graduate applicants, and employer Accenture in your analysis. You should research and discuss this question with regard to the organizational culture and its core elements covered in the module. You are advised to describe and explain in detail what is organizational culture, its core elements, and the functional and dysfunctional effects that organizational culture has on people and the organization. You should focus on the aspects of organizational cultures that you feel are most appropriate for analyzing Accenture's organizational culture and justify your choices accordingly. So there's theory focus, supported by student group justification of theory choice, and this part 1 is worth 8 out of 30 marks. Then it says part 2, drawing on the information and resources provided related to working at Accenture, the information on life or work at Accenture. You should outline Accenture's organizational culture and how it is visible in practice, justifying your rationale by linking directly to the resources provided by Accenture. Organization or practice focus, supported by justification referring to resources provided by the organization, um, is 8 out of 30, right? So it's basically saying the first part is theory focus, the second part is organization focus, and it's 8 out of 30. Then part 3, it says, discussion on the implications of Accenture's organizational culture for the current employees or future talents thinking about working in Accenture. This section requires reflection and discussion on how theory and practice combined can allow you to provide recommendations to Accenture on how organizational culture can facilitate the functionality of the organization, make it a nice place to work, and attract future talents to work in Accenture. Here you should coherently connect 1 and 2 above and provide recommendations to Accenture based on your analysis, supported by the theory, information you have about Accenture, and your group insights into how organizational culture influences your opinions of organizations and willingness to work in them. Critical thinking and reflection are required here. There are no right or wrong answers, but you must ensure your discussions are supported by the literature, by the information you have, and by your own insight. So this part 3 is critical analysis, linking theory and practice, and providing recommendations to Accenture based on your analysis, and it's also worth 8 out of 30 marks. Okay, then it says referencing. At least 3 academic references, including in-text citation, is going to be worth 3 out of 30s, and our presentation, so our layout and our care, and no typos or grammatical errors, and that's going to be 3 out of 30. Okay, and that is the brief there. Um, so now I actually broke this whole thing down. So yeah, sorry. basically that was difficult even for me to understand, and I'm sure that most of you probably just skipped ahead. Um, so what I did was I broke it down. Just give me a second while I do this. I basically kind of broke it down, this whole thing that we just read. So we have section 1. This what I'm about to read is just this, but it's 20 times more easy to understand. So we have section 1, which is this part that says 1. All right, it's this whole thing. So it's essentially defining organizational culture in general, and we're going to place more emphasis on the definitions that relate to Accenture. So we've got organizational culture core elements here written. How organizational culture influences your opinions of organization and willingness to work in them. That is written nowhere. I just made that myself, and this is just my definition. I just put it in here. I did some work on this. That's why there's some writing, but only a small amount. And then functional effects of culture. So yeah, its core elements and the functional and dysfunctional effects of organizational culture has on people and the organization. So I broke this sentence down because it's really the main part. We've got functional effects of culture on the people, on the organization, and then we have dysfunctional effects on the people and on the organization. Okay? And then we've got Accentures. You should focus on aspects of organizational cultures that are most appropriate for Accenture's organizational culture. So then we broke that down, Accenture's organizational cultures. And then it also says in there, have a justification for your choices. Okay? So then section 2 is this part. All right? So we're diving deeper into Accenture. So it essentially says the information related to working at Accenture, okay? Outline Accenture's organizational culture and how it is visible in practice. So outline their culture, working at what it's like to work. How is it visible in practice? And that's it for that one, really. And link directly to the resources provided by Accenture. Then we have section 3. Okay, so this section should bring sections 1 and 2 together, even though it gets the same marks as the rest. This is the most important section of it all, as it focuses on our critical thinking skills and ability to come up with new ideas. And actually, the first lecturer, the blonde one, she said that to us as well. She said section 3 is like the thing where you get to show if you're smart or not, basically. She didn't say that, but I can't remember exactly how she worded it. So what it asks for from us in section 3 is the implications of Accenture's organizational culture. Yeah, here we go. The implications for current employees, for future talents, and then it also asks us to say how can organizational culture facilitate the functionality of an organization, make it a nice place to work, and attract future talents. So how to make it a nice place to work and how to attract talents. Yeah, and that's it basically. That's the whole thing. Just broken down, and that took me a lot of time to explain, but if you look through this, it takes like a minute to actually scroll through it, and it means that we make sure that we hit every single mark, every single point that it mentions in here. We make sure that we talk about it because we can check if we have it all in there. Okay, so now me and another girl from the group, we actually got to we happened to study in the same area in college, so we got to meet up and organize this. So thank you so much to her for writing up this. Basically everything that I read to you, we've taken it and we've broken it down into sections again so that we can assign roles. So there's 6 of us in the group that are actually replying. The other 2 we don't know where they are. So it was actually perfect because we could break down each part perfectly into 6. So we've got section 1, defining organizational culture in general, as we just went through it. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so we're each going to take one of these. So one person is going to say the core elements, which is the basic definition. Then somebody else will do functional effects on the people. So we're just going to talk about it on an individual level. Then the same thing, but just from an organizational perspective. Then the dysfunctional effects, someone else is going to take that. Oh, sorry. Let me go on D&D. Someone else is going to take that. And then for the organization, and then the last person is going to just take, like, which type do we think relates more to Accenture's values based on their practices, right? And then section 2, it was really small, so there's only 3. So 2 of us are each going to take one part for this. So 2 of us will outline Accenture's organizational culture. So we're all going to have to message each other and stuff like that. 2 of us are going to say we're going to look at their practice, and then 2 of us are going to say another one, what it's like to work at Accenture. This is basically just going to be a summary, I think, of the last 2, I'm pretty sure. And now for part 3, we did organize it from the brief, but as you can see, we didn't explain it how we explained it here. So Blessing took the time to explain this a little bit more. But we didn't do that for this part, and the reason why is because we're not going to do section 3 until we have section 1 and section 2 done, because we're literally not able to, because this is combining these 2 things, and I'm going to talk more about that towards the end of the video. And then we also have, please put your references down and your name beside it, okay? So we're going to probably make a group folder where we can put all of our references down so that it's easy to manage once we get to it. All right, next part. Oh yeah, so I want section 1 and section 2 to be done. I've decided in my head that the best time to get it done is going to be May the 1st, so in about a week and a half, to get both section 1 and section 2 done. Honestly, I think this could be done in a few days, but obviously we all have like assignments and work and stuff like that. So I've set up this little event and I've added everybody to it, and you are going to be getting some notifications just to let you know that that deadline is coming up. And I'm going to send this to you after I send this video. All right, now in terms of what I just went through, what I'd really love for you guys to do, because it does say in the outline that we need 3 references, and it's good in general to have references, it gets you more marks. So I really want everyone to be putting down at the end of their work where they got the information from. So you have the book, because we could get the answers from the book, we could get the answers from the slides, or we could have an extra academic reference. All right, and basically what I really would like you to do, so for example, if I got my information from the slides, if you just highlight it, and you can highlight it whatever way you want, and then just copy and paste it so into your own work. So for example, here's my notes. I have the functional effects of culture. So I have here boundary defining role, and then I also have a second slide. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna copy and paste, and I'm actually gonna copy and paste. I have it in the table as well. How can I do that? Yeah, I'm actually gonna copy my table over. So I have it just 2 different ways, and yeah, I didn't copy it as a table. Anyways, and then I'll just highlight it. No, I didn't get it from. Actually, I got this from the book. Sorry. Yeah, I got this info from the. I got this info from the book. And same here. I got this info from the book, okay? And this way, we're just going to be able to keep track on if we have enough references, because we are probably going to get most of the answers from the book and from the slides, but it'll be great if as many of us as possible go through the extra effort to just get a reference, and that way our work is going to be great, because the more references we have, the better. And basically where you can find this is I've made a folder. I'm going to share this with everyone at the end after I share this video with you guys. So if you just go into Organizational Culture Shared Group Project, and then you can just click on Resource Checklist, and then you have it here, and then you can just copy and paste it into your work. And obviously if you don't want to use this and you just want to write it yourself, that's fine, but I just have it here for you guys. Okay, and then a note on the resources. I know. Yeah, so the book and the slides, I'm just going to talk about those really quick. A note on the resources. You can find the book online. You don't need to go to the library. And how you can do that is if you go into the For Current Students page and you go into library. And then you scroll down, and on this side it says searching the library collection. And I'm just gonna let that load. And then you click on library search, just for anybody who doesn't know about it already. And then in the outline on page 25, we have what the title is. So it's called Essentials of Organizational Behavior. And if you just look that up, you can go here. And here it says full, the second one is going to say full text online. So you can click on that. Sorry for it being slow. Okay, and then you can literally just say read online. And the chapter that we're doing, it's in part 5, and it's chapter 16. So you can just literally click right here, and there's even more. And yeah, this is where everything is. And you can see here we have she has this in her slides. Like, this is what she uses for her slides. So I think functional effects should be, sorry, I'm not trying to waste people's time watching this video. Yeah, okay, so we have the functions of culture. So you can see that that's literally in my slides. That's in the, so functional effects of culture is right here. Okay, and then as well, it's also in this, the functions of culture. So you have the answers, they're right there for you for everything, right? In terms of if you're going to get it from the book or from the slide. Now, obviously, like I said, we want some extra resources. Um, sorry. Oh yeah. Sorry. So then, yeah, this is the resources that she mentioned. Again, they're in the project brief, so you can find them. There's more stuff on the website. Yeah, and we can look through that. And then, yeah, in terms of referencing, getting additional references, I know most of you guys probably use Google Scholar up until now. But one thing I want to recommend to you is, it's going to be really great. I think they're going to eat this up. Is if we take references that they've already directly linked to in the slides. So this is slide 28 of her slides from this week. Okay, and then if we so this is the one of the few things that she maybe didn't take from the book, and it's an additional reference. So they do that. They take most of their stuff from the book and they add additional references. So if we go back to the library search that I showed you earlier, and we just copy and paste those authors, we can find that they wrote a book, and we even have the text online there, and we could look through that and then try to find something else to talk about, and like not this part, but try to see if we can find anything. There we go. Yeah, try to see if we can find anything from there, right? Like, I think that's just my recommendation. If you want to use that instead of going to Google Scholar and just finding irrelevant stuff, find the stuff that they've already said is good. Okay. All right, now a note on section 3. So just to explain section 3 to you properly, right? Uh, as we all know Accenture. Yeah, it's a good company. It says their attrition dropped to 13%, right? I don't know what attrition means. Apparently, it's the same thing as turnover, but it also involves getting fired, involuntary departures, right? And as well, so they're in the top 10% of similar sized companies, and its ability to retain quality employees, right? So Accenture is a great company, and they already have a good retention rate, right? Look, they're in the top 79, yeah, along with all these other companies. Basically, just so that we understand what Section 3 is, for anyone who's still a bit confused about it, uh, the idea is that you just got hired by Accenture into the HR department, specifically working in the employee retention scheme team. Okay, Accenture has come to you and they've said, we have an 80% retention rate. So 80% of our employees are staying. We want you to tell us how we can get that to 85%. So we want an 85% retention rate. So now you and your team, us basically us 6 people, like you're gonna be coming up together with different strategies and ideas to how to get that retention rate from 80 to 85%. And then we're gonna come back and we're gonna give that recommendation to Accenture. And that's exactly what section 3 is, right? It's us trying to find more ideas. How can you guys make it a nice place to work? How can you attract future talents? Anything more that we can add for onto it, okay? And that's why we can't do it until we do section 1 and section 2, because we just need to figure out what what organizational culture is. We need to show that we know it. We're obviously learning it right now, and then we need to figure out number 2, like everything about Accenture, and that's what we need to do in section 2, right? So as we're researching culture and researching Accenture specifically, we some of you may get some ideas about what you want to say in section 3. um so I made this, and you guys can use it or you guys cannot use it, but it's there. I'm gonna share it with everyone in the shared folder, and it's basically an idea bank. So write your ideas into an available slide. They can be imperfect, and we will come back to this brainstorm when working on section 3. So you basically come down and you write your any idea you have down, and then maybe put some sources. And then if you're thinking about it the next day and you have something else you want to add, you can add some more notes. And yeah, I just found this on Miro, right? And then there's just idea 2, idea 3. So you can come down and you can write your ideas, basically. And like I said, that's gonna be, oh, that's gonna be in this shared group right here, so you could just go straight into it. And just to give you guys an example of how you might use it, one one thing I noticed, I've been doing a bit of work for the project already. One of the things that I noticed is that Accenture is talking a lot about AI. They're really, really loud in the AI space, which makes sense because they consult for a lot of tech companies. And then the one that caught my eye that actually gave me this idea was, I didn't even watch this, I just saw the title. It says Accenture CEO Julie Sweet. She says AI can be great and we have to bring our people along, right? And then they also write about AI in the research report, workforce workers reinvented in the age of generative AI, right? So I only found this out now as I was preparing for the video, but this was my idea, was to talk about like leading, making it a nice place to work, considering the fact that they want to go into AI. So I might go into the idea bank and say something like, say maybe I'll leave the idea in there and say something like, considering the growth towards AI, talk about shaping a company to suit employees who work well in AI, right? And then I might take that video and like, I don't know if we're gonna use this. I genuinely don't think we will use this, but I'm just kind of, and then I might take this one as well, and I just might put it in there, right? And then it's just there, and then it means that we can look at it later and we can think about if we want to use it, right? And we probably won't use this, but I'm just putting down my ideas. And if you don't like the look of this, the way I've done it, you can just make a blank slide and write whatever you want. And if you don't want to share your ideas with us, then I'm just putting this here to let you know that you should be thinking about the section 3 as you go along, and to just take note of any thoughts you might have. So even if you don't want to put it into into a shared one where the rest of us can see, write it down for yourself or something like that, right? So yeah, that's basically it. And then yeah, I hope you guys like this. I know this was long, but I had a lot to say. And obviously, like, I've done this off my own accord. So please feel free to message me or message into the group chat and say if you agree or you disagree with the way I've organized everything. And then, like, we can either meet, we can try to meet all together, but it seems like we're not available at the same time. So I am thinking I'm gonna make, maybe we can, I'll make a meeting for tonight at around 9, and I can meet with whoever's free at 9, and you can say what sections you want to do, or if we want to all just say into the group chat what sections we want to do. But yeah, if you want, I can set up 3 meetings. I can meet at 9 today. I can meet at 11 a.m. tomorrow, and then I can meet maybe at like 9 again on Monday. And then as well, I'm in college every day of the week, and I like to study in the downstairs area of the library. Or sometimes I study in the arts building. So if anybody did want to meet with me, and like just start working on the project together, like not even next week, like throughout the rest of the project, I would love it if we could like sort of meet with each other, even not with me, but meet with somebody else, and just open your laptops next to each other so that we can like talk. That's just a suggestion of mine. But yeah, I'm around, so message me anytime if you want to meet up with me and we can work on a project. Otherwise, yeah, hopefully you've all actually watched the whole video and you got to this part so that we can message in the group chat and just like talk about how we want to organize these sections that the very nice person blessing in the group sorted out for us, right? We need to assign these 6 to one person each, and then these 3 to 2 people each, right? So yeah, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this, and I hope you get a good grade all together. Thank you. Bye.